Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. So I've done little mini reports on Batman Cape Crusader last week or so. Pretty much binged it when it launched on Amazon. For the most part, I was pretty positive. Rewatching it a couple of times, I'm seeing a lot more flaws than I originally did. It's one of those things that's like, I mean, the characterization of Batman is fine in my opinion, but I think it's more so the things around him that just don't seem to work. Yeah, this is supposed to be Golden Age Batman in the 1940s, late 30s, early 40s. Why in the world do you have an African American Jim Gordon, Babs Gordon? It wouldn't be, sure as hell wouldn't be a cop. Sure as hell wouldn't be a freaking commissioner in the 40s. Be a janitor at best. I don't know if it makes sense for Babs to be in this show. And don't get me started on the fake penguin thing. I was just so stupid. You say, oh, multiverse. Yeah, well, penguin's been a certain design in the 40s. And it's been that way for a bloody reason. Ain't no way a no bra is going to be running a nightclub in the 40s. Ain't no way two broads making out in a restaurant is going to be accepted in the 40s. There's certain things historically that's not going to, it's not going to work. Like I'm just why I'm so surprised because Bruce Timm was involved in this. And then I see Jar Jar Abrams listed in the credits as well. I'm like, oh, that explains that. So that kind of wasn't that much of a surprise to me. I just first episode is probably the worst to me because of that. Since my favorite episode is probably the Catwoman episode because she actually looks like a character, unlike Barbara and Jim, look nothing like what they're supposed to look like. Or Oswalda, whatever her name is. She might as well be trained because that's not a real name, is it? So there's a lot of dumb decisions being made. I like seeing the obscure villains like Onomatopoeia. They set up a lot of cool villains for future seasons. So this brings me to the second half of this, which I want to really dive into. The problem with the Joker character, he appears way too much in Batman adaptations. Way too much. He's in all the Arkham games. He's in both the Telltale games seasons. And he's a main villain in the second season. Surprise. Even appears in Arkham Origins, where that entire game was promoted based on the Black Mask. Black Mask was promoted as the villain. And then he actually get the game, and not even Black Mask, it's Joker the whole time. Then they kill him off in Arkham City, and then bring him back as a ghost or something in Arkham Knight. And then he takes over the plot again. That's the problem with this character. Every time he appears, he takes over everything. Animated series, he's got probably the most episodes that every villain shows up. It's annoying. I mean, as much as I enjoy that overrated Nolan trilogy, I gotta say that it's kind of more of a Joker film than Batman. Honestly, he has way more scenes than Batman does. Well, I don't agree with people saying that Batman's barely in this show. Batman operates from the shadows. Always has, always will. That's just the character. It don't make sense for him to be like in every frame of the show. It don't make any sense. So that's fine. Batman's character is fine in this. I don't have any issues with that. But like the way these other characters are written, like Montoya's always played for the other team, so I didn't care too much about that. But her and Harley Quinn making out in a restaurant in the 40s, no, that would not be accepted. So like the writing is all over the place with this because well, it's historically inaccurate. If you really say it in the 1940s, one that wouldn't be an African American Jim or Babs Warden, definitely not as a commissioner or a district attorney. That's just laughable at best. I was looking for him. I'm like, Barbara, why the hell is Barbara Gordon African American? Just like it's one of those stupid modern things that I was kind of afraid they would do, especially with Jar Jar Abrams leading the charge, no doubt. As soon as I saw his name in the credits, I'm like, oh, I understand completely now. All those stupid decisions like making the Penguin a chick, it's all Jar Jar Abrams, no doubt of that. Only he can be so stupid as to destroy the character of the Penguin and establish villain since the 1940s. I don't think Paul Dini's involved in this. Paul Dini wrote the original animated series. Bruce Timm was a designer. I don't have an issue with the animation. I like the animation. I think the opening credits are a nice little nod to the animated series. It's not exactly the same, but it doesn't really have to be. Like the only real problem I think with this is, of course, coming out in 2024. We got all this body positivity nonsense going around, and I don't want to linger too much on that aspect, but it's really like kind of destroying media in a way because I just it's not something I really need in a Batman show. I don't need to see all this diversity nonsense. Just make a damn Batman show. It's like something like The Batman with Jim Gordon being African American, fine, because that's clearly in the present day. But if you set your show in golden age of Batman, no, just no. There's just certain things you just really shouldn't do unless you want to confuse your audience. And I guarantee most of us, the actual adults that are probably watching this are going to be like scratching their heads like, African American commissioner in the 40s? No. Two ladies making out in a restaurant in public? No. An ugly broad owning a nightclub in the 40s? No. I don't think chicks had the right to vote in the 40s, so I know that don't make no sense. Just kind of threw me off for a little bit. I wanted to give the show a benefit of the doubt, try to be positive. I still like it, but again, I watched the season finale again yesterday. They wasted Two-Face again. Two-Face always gets the short straw whenever he's adapted, and it's really irritating at this point. And of course, the last shot of the damn season is the Joker again. Like how many times? I don't know if Joker really fit in this year anyway. Because here's the thing people seem to forget. I think the first 2 years of Batman's career, he fought the mob. Joker doesn't even exist at that point. And number two, Joker starts off as one of the Red Hood gangsters. And he gets framed. Like in '89. He wasn't Red Hood in that movie, but he was still framed. That's how until he caused passing Batman. So for Joker to already exist in Batman's second week or something, doesn't make any sense. It's the same problem with like Spider-Man fighting the same five villains. Like Batman's got a lot of enemies, a lot of script villains that could get the spotlight for like the first time ever, like Onomatopoeia, or Deadshot has never really been not in the animated series, but he's been in other animated films. But it would be cool to finally see Deadshot in animation in the an actual Batman series. Bring in bring in Professor Pig and Toad. Bring in the ventriloquist. Bring in Mr. Freeze. You got Nuts to the Scarecrow. We got Will and Jones set up already as Killer Rock. So many other villains you could adapt as the freaking Joker again. It's so repetitive. Just like so repetitive and it's beyond annoying. And this is kind of nice. I like the Joker character. I did, but he's used way too much. Yeah, surprise, surprise. Even with all the villains in Arkham City, he's still the main villain. Arkham Asylum was the main villain. Or the whole thing luring Batman was his plan. Arkham Knight, he's in Batman's mind or something. And you got the Joker clones or whatever. And Scarecrow gets like pushed to the sidelines. Like I got so excited in Arkham Knight, the trailers, when Scarecrow was announced as the main villain. Like, oh shit, Scarecrow is coming back? Nice. It was a surprise, to be sure, with Joker returning, because I wasn't expecting it. But I suppose he could be like a gangster or something. Is that really necessary at this point? Because how many times have we seen that? Well, they did the gangster Joker in '89. It's pretty good, but I don't know. I'm sick of the Joker at this point. I really am. Where we get his nemesis? He's got tons of enemies. They're bringing Ivy. Harley Quinn already exists, so part of the Joker thing is already done. Originally, she comes crazy because of him, but now she's already crazy. And apparently, she survived falling to her death, so I guess she'll be back at some point. Can't wait. So I got excited. I thought she was going to replace the Joker as like that type of character, but of course they copped out. This happens all the time with DC Comics, like with the James Gunn Super Friends movie. They got no faith in Superman on his own, so we got to cram him with a bunch of other characters out of nowhere. A bunch of D-listers casted. Dude is way too old to play Guy Gardner. Mr. Terrific Guy, Metamorph. I'm like, man, what the hell cares? Go on Superman, plus the DC Universe co-starring. Like, it's like the Joker is just he's used way too much, and I'm not alone thinking that because he's freaking everywhere. Like there's very rarely a time where you'll see a Batman show or movie where he's not featured. Even in the Batman Matt Reeves movie, he's at the end of the film. And those goons Batman beats the shit out of, those are Joker goons. The guys in the makeup, those are Joker goons. So it's fine if he exists, but you don't need to show him all the time. And this is like year zero for Batman. There ain't no reason for Joker to show up. Not yet. You could do 3 or 4 seasons without the Joker. Believe. You say, oh, but you need the Joker. Like, no, you don't. People say that because that's what they're used to seeing. You don't always need it. It's not necessary. It's just lazy writing at this point. It's like, oh, we got a new Batman show. Who's going to be the villains? Well, we're going to have a bunch of obscure villains in season 1, but we're still going to set up the Joker for some reason because we got no faith in these other characters that have been around for years before Joker even existed. So I like to see Almana P again. I want to see Killer Croc become a villain. I want to see Deadshot. I want to see Mr. Freeze. I want to see the Scarecrow. I'm tired of the Joker. I really am. It's overdone. It's as stupid as the Death Star in Star Wars showing up all the time. Like in Disney Wars. 30 years later, what's the plot line? Another Death Star, just as twice as big as the first two, with the same weakness. And I'm like, well, to me, it just shows lack of confidence in the creators that they don't have any faith in using more obscure villains to carry the story forward. This was like year two or three, fine, I guess. But even then, you don't need him all the time. It's like I always say with James Bond, the gadgets, it's a crutch. Doesn't need him all the time. You're supposed to be a smart dude. You're supposed to be one of the best agents they got. So why not show him using his smarts to get out of a tricky situation? Same with Batman. First thing the villains do when they capture him, take away his belt. So I don't know. I've seen the '60s series a couple of times. I don't think the Joker shows up that much in that show. I think you see the Riddler more than you see the Joker in that series. But yeah, it's overdone at this point. So I was a little shocked that they would throw nods to him so early. Besides all the dumb creative decisions like I explained earlier in the video, African American Joe Gordon, Babs Gordon, uh, in the '40s. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Break, man. This again, it really does show lack of confidence in the creative team, which clearly isn't as creative as people think. They're still they guarantee if he shows up in the next season, he'll be the main villain again. When I look back at animated series, and Joker shows up a lot more than a lot of other villains. Only other villains seem to show up a lot is probably Scarecrow and Mr. Freeze, even in the new Avengers of Batman, which was kind of like a separate show anyway, but nobody shows up as much as the Joker, annoyingly so. But if they're really going with the '40s setting, can definitely do other villains before the Joker shows up. You want to do it properly, like at least do the Red Hood storyline where he gets framed. At least do that, because this is like Batman's second, third week. Joker wouldn't even exist. So I don't know what's going on with the writing with this show, but as much as I enjoyed it, it's a little sloppy in some areas. That chick penguin thing is probably the most annoying part because it's so dumb. It's pandering to the modern world, which is what I was afraid of with this series. I was kind of drawn to the animation and the idea of a new Batman show because new Superman show kind of sucks. So I'm more of a Batman guy anyway. So I figured, oh, this can't be worse than that dopey new Superman cartoon was crying like a little bitch over Lois the whole time. Can't do anything for you, Lois. It's like, oh please, this isn't Superman. It's a Superboy. As well as the Catwoman, people are probably my favorite because just when she's coming on them, just doesn't give a damn. And I think that's absolutely hilarious. He just straight up says like, "Oh, she's not going to be getting out anytime soon, which means we're getting a break from her nonsense." Yeah, that I really enjoyed. I think Two Face was wasted. He had some pretty good development, but I don't think they need to kill him off. I'm like, why? Why we always have to kill him off? Could have done so many other interesting things with the character. Could have been another side villain for next season because they had this stupid plot line where Barbara, fake Barbara, handcuffed herself to him, which prevented him from getting away. So we took a bullet for the dumb broad because she was stupid enough to not let him do what he had to do because she has to be the girl boss, like so many broads today. So yeah, I don't like this Barbara Gordon at all. Just, I don't like her character. I don't like the way she's written. I don't like the character in the show at all. I've always been grateful for the episode where she doesn't show up because she's ridiculous. And if they're done with the make her back row, I just will not watch anymore because that'll be like it'll be just as dumb as Dinah Lance from Black Canary and the Arrow series. She was horribly written. She just never should have worn that suit. Not in that universe. Yeah, I'm kind of depressed thinking about the Joker showing up again. It's like, man, how many times? Yeah, I like the Joker, I really do. But give him a rest. So many other villains that could take the spotlight besides the Joker again. It's repetitive and it's lazy. Well, those are my basic thoughts on season one. I like to say I'm looking forward to next season. Now I guess with the nods to the Joker again, I'm just like I got more of a wait and see attitude now because now I'm just like, are we even gonna see any other villains besides him? Because he keeps saying every time he shows up he takes over everything. He's always center stage. But what are the villains? We just gotta focus on the Joker and Batman again for like the umpteenth time. Because apparently he has no other villains he can tackle down. Like he wasn't going up against the mob like the first 2 or 3 years of his career.